Hello children, welcome back to the English class. Children, I hope you remember we are not afraid to die if we can all be together by Gordon Cook. Yes, now till now we have seen that Gordon Cook and his family are in a pathetic condition due to the sudden storm in the sea. Huge waves were breaking on the ship, and the ship was gradually filling up with water. Okay, and even you must be remembering that incident where he was tossed around on the deck like a rag doll. His rib cracked, and his mouth was filled with blood and broken pieces of teeth of his. Okay, so they all were in very pathetic condition, and they were dreadfully frightened. That is another concept. Okay, the pump that was pumping up out the water was blocked due to the debris DEBRIS. That S is silent, children, so it's debris. Due to the debris that was floating in the water. What was the debris that was floating in the water? Those bits of wood, okay, and then broken pieces of toys. All these were floating in the water that blocked the pump that was pumping the water out. Okay. Sue, do you remember Suzanne, Gordon's daughter, had bumped her head, but Gordon at present was not bothered about all these things. Instead, he was thinking about the extra hand pumps, but those pumps were also damaged. When he went and checked for those pumps, he found that they were also damaged due to the sudden attack of the waves. Okay, now they were again in problem. The water level was rising up. So today we are going to start with page 15, para 7, and let's see what happens next. Then I remembered we had another electric pump under the chart room. Now chart room is a room on the ship where charts can be consulted. Charts may be related to the maps and then any other things that they want to consult, official things. Okay, so he remembered that there was another electric pump under the chart room floor. I connected it to an out pump and was thankful to find that it worked. So he connected this particular pump to the out pipe. Out pipe means where the water was being pumped out through that pipe. Okay, connected it to that, and he was very happy and thankful to God that that particular pump was working properly. The night dragged on with an endless, bitterly cold routine of pumping, steering, and working the radio. So, as the whole ship was filled with water everywhere, the whole night was really very cold because they were continuously working in water, pumping out the water and steering the boat, and then trying to work the radio so that they can connect to any of the places. Okay, we were getting no replies to our Mayday calls. What are Mayday calls, children? Mayday calls are the calls of emergency help. Okay, generally it's sent, the message is sent through means when you are in a problem in a ship or a plane. Okay, so they had sent the Mayday calls, but there was no response to their Mayday calls, which was not surprising in this remote corner of the world. So they did not get the response of their Mayday calls, and Gordon says it was not surprising because they had reached a place where there were no human beings, nothing except water. It was an isolated part of the world. That's what he feels. Okay. Sue's head had swollen alarmingly. Remember, she had bumped her head. So that particular head had swollen dreadfully. The swelling was huge. She had two enormous black eyes. Black eyes, that is, eyes had again maybe she had bumped her eyes also. Okay, so a black layer had developed over her eyes, and now she showed us a deep cut on her arm. When I asked why she hadn't made more of her injuries before this, she replied, I didn't want to worry you when you were trying to save us all. So she also showed a deep cut on her arm. And when her father, Gordon Cook, when he asked why she didn't show all these things before, and then that is when you can see the maturity in the child. You know how old she is. Yes? How old is she? She is only 7 years old. So you can just imagine how maturely the child behaved. She realized the problem, the situation, and everything. And that's why she replies, I didn't want to worry you. Because she knows her parents would be worried when they saw this cut and the black eye, and then the alarming the swelling on her head. Her parents might worry. So she says, I didn't want to worry you when you were trying to save us all. When you were trying to save us, I never wanted to worry you all. Just imagine you fall in love with such children who really understand the situation of the parents. Okay. Otherwise, generally what the children do is they just go around crying and beating their chest and then saying, see, I've got so much effort, you're at least a bit bothered, you're bothered about your ship and all those stuff. And even majority of you might be doing all these things. You don't realize the importance, the problems that the parents are facing and the situation in which they are. Okay, so but here this particular sweet little child, she realizes that they are really trying to save their lives. So she never talked about her pain. And what do you think? Wasn't she in pain? She was in a dreadful pain. But then she kept quiet. By the morning of January 3, the pump had the water level sufficiently under control for us to take 2 hours rest in rotation. So by January, all this was happening on January 2nd. Now by January 3rd, the pump was working properly and the level of the water had gone down sufficiently, properly. And so they took rest in rotation. That is, when one person was at work, the other person could take rest. There was no need that all should go on working together. But we still had a tremendous leak somewhere below the water line, and on checking, I found that nearly all the boat's main rib frames were smashed down to the keel. So here he found that, but then somewhere there was a leak. Water was continuously coming into the boat. Now on checking, he found that as the boat was made of wood, somewhere the wooden pieces, okay, somewhere there were holes in the main rib frame, that is main frame of the ship. Somewhere there was a leak, and and due to that, because the ribs were smashed due to the power of the wave. You just imagine water. We never think about the power of such things, but when they take up that ghostly appearance of theirs, we cannot do anything. They acquire that enormous power. Okay. So their ship was damaged and there was leak in it. In fact, there was nothing holding up a whole section of the starboard hull except a few cupboard portions. So everything was in a destructive position. Everything was destroyed. Now the starboard hull was also in a destroyed form, except for few cupboard portions which were intact. We had survived for 15 hours since the wave hit. So After the wave hit, they survived for around 15 hours due to their what constant hard work. Okay, but wave walker wouldn't hold together long enough for us to reach Australia. But the wave walker was in a pathetic condition. You remember the wave walker? Could you tell me? Yes, it is a ship on which they were sailing. So the wave walker was in a pathetic condition. There could be a shipwreck any moment. Okay, and they won't be able to reach Australia on wave walker if the situation continues like this. I checked out charts and calculated that there were two small islands a few hundred kilometers to the east. So remember the chart room where charts were checked? So the chart, that is the map, he checked the map and he found that there were two islands, okay, small islands, a few hundred kilometers from the place from where they were to the east. One of them, Isle Amsterdam, was a French scientific base. One was a French scientific base. The French people were doing scientific research out there. So they could go there. Our only hope was to reach these pinpricks of the vast ocean. Pinpricks. Pinpricks here resembles the islands. Okay. Pinpricks of the vast ocean, the islands on the vast ocean. So the only hope for survival was they had to reach either of the island that was there in this vast ocean if they had to survive. But unless the wind and the sea battered means became less intense, when the wind lowers down and the sea becomes calm and quiet. Only if the wind and sea becomes calm and quiet, so we could hoist means hoist the sail. Hoist sail means they could again open up the sail. Okay. Our chances would be slim indeed. Chances would be slim indeed means if the wind and the sea doesn't calm down, so that they can open up the sail and tie the sail properly. If it doesn't happen, then there were no chances of their survival. Okay. The great wave had pulled our auxiliary engine out of action. Auxiliary engine, small engine. Okay. Helping engine. If the main engine has some work, you can use the auxiliary engine. So the auxiliary engine was also not working properly. So you can just imagine, one after the other, the problems were being created for them and they were trying to come out of these problems. So children, today we'll stop here. Please go through the lesson. Thank you. Be safe. Have a good day.